Fox News had a clip. This is a 10-second clip, and I think that this pretty much sums up everything that you need to know about cable news. We got this from Mediaite. Take a look.
Like a card trick that you've seen 10 times.
Guys, bottom line is, in race after race,
third card trick.
In race after race, Democrats are ahead of Republicans when it comes to women.
Winning over women in Colorado.
Is that real?
That is real, Max. That is real.
I feel bad for the closed captioners at moments like that. They're just like, forget it, I'm done.
This. I mean, okay, that is just awful. So you're seeing the head of the DNC, the head of the RNC, and they're just, let's just watch it again. Can we just watch it again?
Like a card trick that you've seen 10 times.
Guys, bottom line is, in race after race,
third card trick.
In race after race, Democrats are ahead of Republicans when it comes to women.
Winning over women in Colorado.
I don't know. Look, I do a show like that. I have done this now. I don't know how many times we've done this. 50. We've done this. I don't know, 80 shows or something. A lot of clips are up there. Like, I've been able to manage so that people aren't just. Now again, I don't have.
Okay, women in Colorado.
Yeah. Is that partly that because they just are doing talking points, right? Debbie Wasserman Schultz is doing talking points. Reince Priebus is doing talking points. So because of that, that inherently makes them just talk instead of listening. There's no listening going on at that table, right?
Yeah, no one ever answers the question they're asked. They come preloaded with whatever it is they wanted to say.
Case in point, the Ben Affleck thing on Bill Maher that you did a brilliant job in dissecting.
We'll link to that thing right there. It was brilliant. Brilliant. Is part of this also just the way we are wired, that really we are wired for controversy? You were talking about this a little bit in the previous segment, but that we have a left brain and a right brain. So it's like we can only sort of deal with two talking points. So the more extreme that they are, the more it sort of fits into the way we can comprehend things.
Yeah, because it leads to, it basically takes the onus off of us for having to do our own thinking. You know, when we have people that have a perspective and can sort of like lead the pack, so to speak. It also is very, our already sort of overworked amygdala is the fear center of the brain. I think it definitely appeals to that sort of tendency to be alarmed, that fight or flight, mechanism that we have. And so I think that's why people gravitate towards those sorts of clips.
Well, like you were saying, I think a lot of the cable hosts are less journalists now than they are sort of Ed Sullivan, instead of like, here's the Beatles and here's Topo Gigio, like here's Ebola and here's Benghazi. It's like, it's all about not enough to bore you. I'm going to keep you entertained and keep throwing things at you that are going to excite you. And if you don't like this one, you'll like the next one. You know?
Do you guys think that the average viewer realizes that that's actually not news, that that's purely propaganda? If you put up the head of one party and the head of another party, and then just have them babble on the stuff that's written right in front of them, that's actually not news. People watch that Fox News Sunday. It sounds like it's a news program, but all you're doing is just handing out propaganda on both sides. And then because they give 2 points of view, everyone thinks it's equal, right?
Yeah, the idea, first of all, that's been one of the great thing you talked about. Why is the news terrible now? This idea of parody that okay, because we're talking to this rational, sensible person about global warming, we now also have to talk about this oil company shill to make sure that we're being equal. You know,
and then there's never any analysis after. This happens constantly. I see this even with Anderson Cooper, who everyone loves. They'll do that exact thing. So you got the scientist for global warming, then you got this oil guy, and then they both spout their thing, and then he's like, all right, and we're going to commercial. But it's like, no, we got to now analyze. What did we just see?
The worst about that.
That guy couldn't improv his way out of a wet paper bag. Let's just watch the clip one more time.
Oh my God. Like a card trick that you've seen 10 times.
Guys, bottom line is, in race after race,
third card trick.
In race after race, Democrats are ahead of Republicans when it comes to women.
Winning over women in Colorado.
I really thought it was a great segment, and we're doing a hell of a show, and it's a good time for them.